Aquarius. 12 opportunities that appear when you own your style. There is a version of you that has been waiting in the wings for a very long time. Not a new version, not someone you need to become, but someone you have always been underneath the layers of adaptation, compromise, and careful editing that life demanded of you. This version of you does not ask permission to exist. It does not shrink to fit other people's comfort zones. It does not apologize for the way its mind works or the way its heart beats or the way its soul moves through this world. This is the version of you that owns its style, fully unapologetically, and with the quiet power that comes from decades of learning who you really are. And when that version steps forward, Aquarius, opportunities begin to appear in ways you never expected. Not because the universe rewards conformity or rebellion, but because authenticity has a frequency that attracts exactly what belongs to you. Opportunity 1. The first opportunity that appears when you own your style is the chance to build genuine connections rather than performative ones. For years, perhaps decades, you have navigated relationships with a subtle filter running in the background, adjusting your words, softening your opinions, muting the parts of yourself that felt too unusual for polite company. And while this filter helped you avoid conflict and maintain surface-level harmony, it also prevented anyone from truly knowing you. The connections you built were with a curated version of yourself, and that meant they could never go as deep as your soul craved. But when you own your style, when you show up as the full, unedited Aquarius that you are, something shifts in the quality of your relationships. The people who cannot handle your authenticity will naturally fall away, and while that might feel like loss at first, it is actually liberation. In their place come the people who have been waiting for someone exactly like you. People who light up when you share your unusual perspective. People who feel inspired rather than intimidated by your independence. People who love the very things about you that others found strange. These connections are rare, Aquarius, but they are real in a way that your previous relationships could never be. They nourish you at the deepest level because they are built on truth rather than performance. And truth, unlike performance, does not require maintenance. Simply is. Opportunity 2. The second opportunity is the discovery of creative channels that actually fit who you are. Aquarius has always been a sign of innovation, but that innovation has often been directed into frameworks and structures that were designed by someone else. You have been creative within other people's containers, inventive within established boundaries, original but only up to a certain acceptable point. When you own your style, those containers dissolve. You stop asking what is expected and start asking what is possible. You stop looking at what others have done for inspiration and start listening to the voice inside you that has been whispering ideas no one else has thought of yet. This is where your true creative power lives. Not in adaptation but in origination. Whether it is in art, writing, problem-solving, gardening, cooking, or any other domain, your creativity takes on a different quality when it is freed from the need for approval. It becomes wilder, more surprising, more alive. You make things that could only come from your particular mind, your particular history, your particular way of seeing the world. And while not everyone will understand what you create, the people who do will recognize it as something they have been hungry for without knowing it. Opportunity 3. The third opportunity is the ability to inspire others simply by being visible. You do not have to give speeches or write manifestos or lead movements, although you certainly could do all of those things. Sometimes the most powerful form of inspiration is simply existing in full color, in a world that constantly pressures everyone to fade into acceptable shades of gray. When you own your style, when you walk through the world without apology for who you are, you become a permission slip for everyone who sees you. You show them that it is possible to be different and still be whole. You demonstrate that nonconformity is not a death sentence but a doorway. You prove that the things that make you strange are the same things that make you irreplaceable. You may never know the full impact of this visibility. The people you inspire may never tell you. The young person who sees you living authentically and decides to stop hiding their own uniqueness may never cross your path again. But the ripple moves outward nonetheless, touching lives in ways you cannot track or measure. This is one of the most beautiful opportunities that comes with owning your style. The chance to light the way for others without even trying, simply by refusing to dim your own light. Opportunity 4. The fourth opportunity is the freedom to make choices that align with your actual values, rather than borrowed ones. Over the course of your life, you have absorbed values from your family, your culture, your education, your social circles. Some of those values genuinely belong to you. They resonate with the core of who you are and guide you toward a life of meaning and fulfillment. But others were inherited without examination, accepted without question, followed without enthusiasm. When you own your style, you initiate a process of value clarification that is both humbling and empowering. You look at every belief you hold and ask, is this mine or did I borrow it? Does this serve me? Or does it just make other people comfortable? Am I living by this principle because I believe in it, or because I am afraid of what happens if I do not? This examination takes courage, because some of the values you discover are not yours will be the ones your closest relationships are built upon. Releasing them may cause friction, confusion, or even conflict. But the alternative, living a life guided by borrowed values, is a quiet form of self-betrayal that erodes your spirit over time. When your choices flow from your authentic values, they carry a weight and a rightness that borrowed values can never provide. You stop second-guessing yourself because your decisions are rooted in truth rather than obligation. Opportunity 5. The fifth opportunity is the chance to redefine what success means on your own terms. The world has a very specific definition of success, and it tends to revolve around money, status, recognition, and the accumulation of things that can be measured and compared. And while there is nothing inherently wrong with any of those things, they have never been the full picture for you, Aquarius. Your soul craves a different kind of success, one that includes intellectual freedom, creative expression, meaningful contribution, deep connection, and the simple but profound experience of being alive on your own terms. When you own your style, you give yourself permission to pursue that broader definition of success without shame. You stop comparing your life to a standard that was never designed for someone like you. You stop feeling like a failure because your path does not follow the expected trajectory. Instead, you begin to see your unconventional journey as evidence of a deeper wisdom, one that knows that the richest life is not the one with the most possessions but the one with the most meaning. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Opportunity 6. The sixth opportunity is the emergence of a confidence that does not depend on external circumstances. There is a kind of confidence that comes from achievements, from winning, from being praised and promoted and recognized. And there is another kind that comes from a much deeper place, from the simple, unshakable knowledge of who you are. The first kind fluctuates. It rises when things go well and falls when they do not. It needs constant feeding, constant reinforcement, constant proof that you are good enough. The second kind is steady. It does not spike or crash because it is not based on outcomes. It is based on identity. When you own your style, you begin to cultivate this second, deeper confidence. You stop needing the world to confirm your value and start confirming it yourself. You stop measuring your worth by your latest success or failure and start recognizing it as something inherent, something that exists independent of what you do or do not achieve. This confidence is quiet. It does not boast or perform. It simply shows up in the way you hold yourself, the way you make decisions, the way you respond to challenges. People notice it even when they cannot name it. They sense that you are rooted in something solid, something that the winds of circumstance cannot topple. And that groundedness draws opportunities toward you because people trust confidence that does not need to prove itself. Opportunity 7. The seventh opportunity is the ability to transform your past into wisdom, rather than carrying it as baggage. Every Aquarius has a history filled with moments of not fitting in, of being the odd one out, of feeling like the world was designed for a different kind of person. And those moments, if left unprocessed, can become weights that slow you down, stories of rejection and isolation that reinforce the belief that something about you is fundamentally wrong. But when you own your style, those same moments undergo a remarkable transformation. They stop being evidence of your deficiency and start being evidence of your distinction. The time you were laughed at for your unusual idea becomes the moment you first dared to think differently. The relationship that ended because you were too independent becomes the moment you chose authenticity over accommodation. The career path you abandoned because it did not fit becomes the moment you trusted your own knowing over conventional wisdom. Your past does not change, Aquarius. The events remain the same, but the meaning you assign to them shifts completely. And when the meaning shifts, the emotional weight shifts with it. What was heavy becomes light. What was painful becomes instructive. What was shameful becomes sacred. This is the alchemy of owning your style. It does not erase your history, but it transforms it into gold. Opportunity 8. The eighth opportunity is the opening of doors you did not even know existed. When you spend your life trying to fit into spaces that were not designed for you, you only see the doors that are visible to everyone, the conventional paths, the expected options, the choices that come with society's stamp of approval. But when you own your style and start moving through the world as your authentic self, you begin to notice doors that were invisible before. These are the opportunities that exist specifically for someone with your particular combination of gifts, perspectives, and experiences. They do not appear on any map because they were not there before you arrived. You create them by being yourself, by bringing your unique energy into rooms and conversations and situations where it has never been before. A chance meeting with someone who recognizes your unusual talent. An invitation to contribute to something that perfectly aligns with your vision. A solution to a problem that only your particular mind could see. These doors open because you stop trying to walk through doors meant for someone else. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Opportunity 9. The ninth opportunity is the chance to model a different way of aging. The world has very rigid ideas about what life should look like as you get older. Slow down. Settle in. Stop taking risks. Accept that your best years are behind you. These messages are everywhere, subtle and not so subtle, and they carry an implicit instruction to shrink, to become less visible, less adventurous, less alive. But you, Aquarius, have never been good at following instructions that do not make sense to you. And these instructions make no sense at all. When you own your style, you become living proof that age is not a limitation but a liberation. You show the world that the later chapters of life can be the most creative, the most passionate, the most authentically expressed chapters of all. You demonstrate that wisdom does not have to mean withdrawal, and that experience does not have to mean exhaustion. Instead, you carry your years like a cloak of authority, wrapped in the knowledge that you have earned the right to live exactly as you choose. Every year that passes gives you more material to work with, more insight to draw from, more courage to deploy. You have survived enough to know that the opinions of others are temporary, but the regret of an unlived life is permanent. This modeling is not performed for an audience. It happens naturally as a byproduct of your refusal to dim. And it matters more than you know, because there are people watching you, people of all ages, who need to see that a full, vibrant, unapologetically authentic life is possible at every stage of the journey. Opportunity 10. The 10th opportunity is the deepening of your spiritual life. When you stop performing for the world and start living for your soul, the spiritual dimension of your existence opens up in ways that are both surprising and profound. You begin to sense connections between events that seemed random, patterns in the chaos, meaning in the mundane. You find yourself drawn to practices, ideas, and experiences that nourish the part of you that cannot be measured or seen, but is perhaps the most real thing about you. This deepening is not about religion, although it may include religious elements if they resonate with you. It is about relationship. Your relationship with the mystery of existence, with the intelligence that seems to permeate the universe, with the quiet voice inside you that knows things your rational mind cannot explain. When you own your style, you give yourself permission to explore this dimension without shame. You stop worrying about whether your spiritual beliefs are too unconventional and start trusting that your connection to something greater is as unique and valid as everything else about you. Opportunity 11. The 11th opportunity is the capacity to leave a legacy that reflects who you truly were rather than who you pretended to be. Every person leaves something behind, whether they intend to or not. The question is whether that legacy will be a collection of roles well played and expectations well met, or whether it will be something more honest, more raw, more genuinely meaningful. When you own your style, you choose the second. You choose to leave behind the truth of who you are rather than a carefully edited highlight reel. This legacy shows up in the memories people hold of you, in the lessons your loved ones carry forward, in the invisible imprint your authenticity leaves on everyone whose life intersected with yours. It is not measured in awards or accomplishments, although those may be part of it. It is measured in the depth of your impact, in the lives that were changed because you dared to be real, in the quiet courage you demonstrated simply by showing up as yourself in a world that constantly asked you to be someone else. Opportunity 12. The 12th and final opportunity is the most personal of all. The chance to finally fully enjoy being you. This may sound simple, but for someone who has spent a lifetime navigating the tension between who they are and who the world wanted them to be, the simple act of enjoying your own existence is revolutionary. It means waking up in the morning and feeling genuinely grateful for the mind you have, even when it keeps you up at night with its endless thinking. It means appreciating the way you see beauty in things that others overlook, the way your heart breaks open for strangers, the way your imagination paints futures that do not yet exist. It means laughing at your own quirks instead of cringing at them. It means celebrating your stubborn independence instead of apologizing for it. It means looking at the full, complicated, contradictory, beautiful tapestry of who you are and saying, yes, this is exactly what I was meant to be. This enjoyment is the ultimate reward for owning your style. Aquarius. Not success, not recognition, not even connection, though all of those things may come. The ultimate reward is the simple, profound, life-altering experience of being at home in your own skin, at peace with your own nature, and deeply, joyfully alive in the only life you will ever have. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.